Durant becomes, is he still a desirable player? Is he still the number one, as we talked about that last block, for a team? Perk, your thoughts?
Hell no. Hell no, he's not. And listen, man, fix your body language, S.A. Fix your body language and hear me out.
So the discussion today relates to Kevin Durant. Everybody knows Kevin Durant has been out for this first-round series versus the Lakers. And consequently, the Houston Rockets find themselves down 3-1. They finally got a win at home in Game 4, but now they're headed back to LA, and pretty much everybody expects that to be a closeout game. The Lakers going ahead and completing the gentleman's sweep in 5. And now the question is, with this being yet another failed stop for Kevin Durant, I mean, this is basically what the team did last year without him. The Phoenix Suns, at times, actually looked better without Kevin Durant than they did with him last season. So the question came up on First Take between Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins. Is Kevin Durant still a viable #1 option for a championship contending team at this stage of his career? Can he score? Yes. But can he actually lead a team to a championship right now? They went back and forth on it. Let's look at what both of them had to say, and then we'll come back and break it down.
About Durant becomes, is he still a desirable player? Is he still the number one, as we talked about that last block, for a team? Perk, your thoughts?
Hell no. Hell no, he's not. And look, I believe that Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer to ever touch a damn basketball. I believe that Kevin Durant, man, fix your body language, S.A. Fix your body language and hear me out. Hear me out. I believe that he still puts the ball in the basket better than majority of the NBA. But let's go facts over feelings right now, and let's keep it a buck. The Brooklyn Nets, disaster. The Phoenix Suns ran through 2 or 3 coaches. 2 of them was championship caliber coaches, a disaster. What did the Phoenix Suns do this year? They made it to the postseason. They were one of the biggest surprises in the NBA. Okay, fast forward. Let's look at the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets last year got to the first round. I believe they pushed the Golden State Warriors as the number 2 seed to 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 games. I believe that the Houston Rockets did give up a guy in Jalen Green that they drafted with the number 2 pick. They did give up a guy in Dylan Brooks, who's a culture setter, to get KD and some picks. And all of a sudden you bring to the Houston Rockets, what has been the biggest knock on the Rockets this year? Their chemistry is so bad to the point where people were questioning, is Ime Udoka still a good coach? Is he the coach for this team? Stephen A., we took a survey last year. Ime Udoka would definitely be top 10 coaches in the NBA. We can't say that right now because this team has identity crisis. I'm not taking anything away from KD as the player and the scorer, but I'm saying is if you're a team that's a championship contender, would you give up a valuable piece and you got a culture that's set to bring in Kevin Durant, not knowing is it going to disrupt the vibe, the chemistry of the organization? I can't chance that. You know I'm telling the truth.
The other day, no, you're not. The other day, we got on Kevin Durant for not being on the bench with the team. And you know what? Get your behind out there, show some leadership.
Yeah.
That's about all. That's about all. This is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. Kevin Durant has averaged 25 points on 50% shooting or better for 13 consecutive years. Did you hear what I just said? That's Kevin Durant.
Steve,
This month, KD Trey, I know you just finished talking, Big Perk, about his skill set, and you're not denying that. But I'm getting to a bigger point here. We gonna just sit back and ignore the stuff that happened around him? Let's count back the ways. Kid Murrow, sit back, my brother. Allow me to provide this education. When the man was in Oklahoma City, I'm a person who loves Russell Westbrook. I understand how erratic he has been, but he's a man's man. He's a warrior. He's a high-end competitor. Don't back down from nothing. He's a future Hall of Famer. Mad love for him and what he does in the community. Oh, my God. The brother is special, okay? But we all know what Kevin Durant had to deal with him as a point guard in Oklahoma City. Perk, you know that better than anybody. Better than anybody, okay? You know what a challenge that was.
They went to the NBA Finals together.
I know that. They did in 2012, absolutely, with James Harden coming off the bench. I remember that. But I'm just talking about, we know they had some success, but they didn't have a championship. And Big Perk, but you didn't win a championship. That's all I'm saying. But why do I bring that up? The Splash Brothers are in Golden State, and everybody and their mother knew they weren't beating LeBron with Kyrie and Kevin Love unless they had Kevin Durant. There's no way they're beating them. So Kevin Durant delivers back-to-back titles and would have three-peated. They'd have swept Toronto and Kawhi Leonard if it wasn't for KD tearing the Achilles, okay? We all know that. And a calf injury before he tried to come back and ultimately tore the Achilles, okay? So we know that. He goes to Brooklyn. What's his crime? The fact that his damn shoes were a size 13 instead of a 12 and a half. You understand? And when he dropped 49 instead of 50 and was going against Giannis and the crew, Kyrie.
To be honest, what it sounds like is Stephen A. Smith making excuses. If you go to 3 different stops and the bad things keep happening at every single one of them, then you have something to do with that. It's not like you just had bad luck at one place. Ever since he left that loaded Golden State Warriors super team, Kevin Durant has underachieved as a leader. Not as a scorer, not as an offensive talent, not as an individual player statistically, but as a leader. When has he ever truly galvanized a locker room? And that question came up again this year in Houston when information leaked out that he was using a burner account to talk about his own teammates. And now with Amen Thompson going down injured, I don't know what's going on with KD at this point.
Ben Thompson was asked about an hour ago how KD is feeling, and he said, to be honest with you, I don't know. So whether that means KD's been doing all of his rehab away from the team or the team hasn't really necessarily been checking in on him, that's another dynamic to look for as we head towards tip-off.
Kevin Durant's, I think, officially out, right?
Dude, what is the deal with Kevin Durant? Why was he not even on the bench for Game 3? Like, talk to me about this. It feels bad.
Well, what's weird to me is when they asked about his teammates, and his teammates say they don't know. Like, that was the only
that not feel
concerning
weird,
part for me is when, Amen Thompson's like,
right?
I don't know. I don't know if they're not trying to make it a big deal or what, but
there's a disconnect, maybe?
a little disconnect there.
It can be a lot at play here. You know, I've seen it all. I've seen some guys just flat out not show up. I've seen some guys that prefer to sit in the locker room and watch games, and I've also experienced, personally myself, where you're doing treatment in the back during the games because you don't want to waste that time. You're steady working, around the clock, trying to get back on the court. I don't know what the scenario is for Kevin Durant, but usually in these scenarios, you see a guy pop his head out at least a quarter or whatever, and then go back to the back and complete treatment or whatever you have. I don't know what it is. It also was interesting that his teammates didn't know what was going on and nobody kind of stuck up for him. But at the end of the day, he wasn't on the court. It didn't matter. He had nothing to do with the outcome of this game. So we can make it a big deal, but this is the playoffs and everything matters. And like I said, everything is under a microscope.
I mean, it is weird. He wasn't on the bench, but I do like what Lou Williams said. He gave some real perspective as someone who actually played the game. He pointed out that KD could have been in the back getting treatment, could have been doing any number of things we don't know about behind the scenes. And I get that. That's a fair point. But Kendrick Perkins said something that really hits home. We probably wouldn't even care where Kevin Durant was or what he was doing if he just looked interested in being out there and supporting his teammates. Let me play what Big Perk had to say, because I agree with him 100%.
I'm getting ejections. I'm doing all this because when it's the playoffs and you actually got a shot, you don't know if you're ever going to have a shot again and making a real legit run. So you never take that for granted. So when I think about the Rockets, all right, here we are. We get to this point. KD, I can't question your pain tolerance and all this stuff, but hey, man, we talking about a sprained ankle at this point. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be 100%? Fuck no. You're not going to be 100%.
At all.
But I'd rather you go out on the floor, let the world see that you can't move, and then let us say, man, get KD up off the floor, man. But hey, bro, we glad you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The fact that you've been seen warming up and doing these little things, at the very least, to come out there and give it a shot, unless you genuinely feel like getting back on the court is going to shorten your career. Because now you're heading back to LA down 3-1, facing a potential closeout game. Unless it's something that serious, you almost have to try. Now, Skip Bayless said Kevin Durant is just a weird dude and that he doesn't think KD necessarily cares about or likes this group that much. Let me play what Skip had to say.
He is the weirdest superstar in any sport I have ever closely observed because he's just a weird dude, man. Just really a weird dude where you can't explain the mood swings. And this was classic. This is as classic KD as you'll ever see. He can be Kevin Durant, you know, like all of a sudden when you least expect it, it's like, what? But he feels semi-retired to me where he doesn't care that much. He still loves to hoop and he loves to be out there in the spotlight with it's fun. And I don't know if he loves these guys, so I don't care I don't know if he cares that much about winning and advancing in the playoffs.
I mean, Skip is crazy, but I kind of see where he's going with it. I feel like KD loves the game of basketball, but doesn't necessarily care about winning at this point. And honestly, I think that was his whole purpose in going to Golden State. He got the monkey off his back, won 2 championships, and got to play one-on-one basketball because nobody was going to dare send a double team with prime Klay Thompson and prime Steph Curry on the floor. I mean, Steph was averaging around 30 in those finals too. So guarding KD one-on-one when you can't send help from anywhere is nearly impossible. He got those rings, he proved he could win, and I just don't think he has that same hunger anymore. I don't feel like he believes he has anything left to prove at this stage. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully KD heals up soon.